Yo, what's going on YouTube? Min Pokemaster here, and today I'm going to be doing my team builder, my first week of the LPL against the Lake City Liepards. The person in charge of the league is named Brawler, and his team consists of a Kieran Black, Arcanine, Delmise, Tentacruel, Meloetta, Castform, Mega Swampert, Silvally, Shiinotic, Uxie, and Skarmory. So when I look at his team, I am scared of the Kieran Black. He just kind of rips through my entire team. Kieran Black has barely any switch-ins. Probably the best switch-in in my opinion is probably like a Ferrothorn, but as you can tell, I don't have that Pokemon. So, in order to prep for that, I had picked Everfrost, my Alolan Ninetales. I gave it Ferium Ziso because after a little bit of chip damage, that'll one-shot the Kieran Black, and the only way that won't work, if he switches into that, and I have my Alolan Ninetales out, the only way he would outspeed me is with a Choice Scarf. And I don't think that's very likely this match. So, on my Alolan Ninetales, I ran Moonblast. Moonblast was to hit the things like Kieran Black. That's really about it. Maybe if he brought some different kind of versions of Silvally. I brought the Blizzard just for a good stab move to hit against the Delmise and the Shiinotic and the Skarmory. The Freeze Dry was really just to hit the Mega Swampert and the Tentacruel just to do a bunch of damage in case, because the Mega Swampert would be 4 times weak to Ice type moves, so that would do a bunch of damage to it. And Mega Swampert's kind of hard to whittle down because it's just that powerful. So since I'm faster, I can do a bunch of damage. And the Roar Veil is pretty obvious, just to help my light screen and basically just for light screen and reflect. You know, just normal. This is just the normal Alolan Ninetales with Ferium Z. And of course, I'm running Timid, 252 Speed, 252 Special Attack, and 4 Special Defense. And my next Pokemon I picked was, was my boy Mega Heracross with obviously the Heracronite, ability Moxie just in case. And then I'm running Rock Blast to hit the Kieran Black, the Arcanine, and the Skarmory in different forms of Silvally. Pin Missile was to hit the Delmise and Meloetta if they switched in. Bullet Seed, I thought was kind of cool, was to hit the Mega Swampert. And then knock off, because it's always good to have one of those. It's always good to knock off your opponent's items where they can't attack you. Well, I mean, not to where they can't attack you, but to where you can kind of tell they're set based off their item. I brought him Plug In Please My Circuitry with a Choice Scarf, because if he does not bring ground type Silvally, it just kind of runs through his team, because Energy Ball hits the Mega Swampert, and if he brings a ground Silvally, it'll hit that. Thunderbolt just for a good stab move, which will hit like the Tentacruel and Skarmory. Volt Switch is in case if I need to switch out to a better Pokemon to face off against the opponent. And then Signal Beam to hit like really just hit the Delmise and the Meloetta. But with the Meloetta, either way, it's gonna take a bunch of damage from any of my moves. While Delmise could take all my moves except Signal Beam. And I ran it with a Modest Nature with 252 Special Attack, 252 Speed, to where it outspeeds everything on the opponent's team, and 4 Special Defense. And this week I'm going to run my Minior with White Herb to get rid of the stat decreases when it Shell Smashes, and Stone Edge for the Kieran Black, Arcanine, and Skarmory. Acrobatics is for when I use my White Herb. It's just a good stab move that'll hit the Delmise. And Earthquake to hit the Arcanine and Tentacruel, which can otherwise kind of wall Minior, because it can run like a bulky. The Arcanine can be like a bulky version with Intimidate, so that could really like stop my team if I didn't have Earthquake. And I'm running an Adamant Nature because after the Shell Smash it's going to outspeed everything. And then I brought my Crobat X-Wing with the Black Sludge for the overall, like, basically the poison type leftovers. Infiltrator, just in case they run like a substitute. I'm going to bring Defog in case they bring rocks, which they don't have very many rock options, but the Mega Swampert and the Silvally and Skarmory could all be like a bulky version with Stealth Rocks. Roost for just longevity. Super Fang, I felt like was really important for that Kyurem Black or anything that switches in. I could put them directly at 50% and then have something come in and like clean them up later on. And then U-turn for just normal switching. So I'm running a Jolly Nature with 252 speed just so I can be a fast U-turner. 248 HP just so I can be bulky. And then the 8 defense because you want an odd number on your HP so you can switch into Stealth Rocks more than 4 times. Also, it can live the 4th time coming in. And then I brought a choice scarf from Medicham as a physical wall breaker, just so in case if I can't bring an Emma Frost, I can high jump kick my opponent to do more damage, and just to do normal, what just a normal Medicham would do. I have Zen Headbutt for the Tentacruel. I have Drain Punch just in case I need a heal, and high jump kick is necessary. And then Fire Punch for the Skarmory and the Shiinotic and the Delmise. Well, next time I see you will be... I'm going to cut into our battle starts, and I'll see you then.
Yo, what's going on YouTube? And today, we have our first battle of the LPL. My opponent's team consists of an Arcanine, a Meloetta, a Kyurem Black, Silvally, Tentacruel, and Skarmory. Now, first off, I noticed that my opponent's team is extremely weak to Stealth Rocks. And it looks like I didn't bring Stealth Rocks. So, my idea is to go in with Plug and Please, and then Volt switch out to see what my opponent sends in first. So let's start off with Plug and Please. And I'm going to cut until the battle begins. Okay, and we're back. And it looks like my opponent sent in his Tentacruel. And I'm pretty sure he would not run max speed on this. His Tentacruel is a bulky Pokemon, so I think I should just Volt Switch and see what it does. That was a real 50-50, and it looks like he brought a ground type Silvally, which I should have predicted. But that just gives me an easy switch in to my Emma Frost here. And it looks like he predicted that, and he used Flame Charge. So that means it is faster than me. So it's 317 times 1.5. So Starboy is a good switch in here, just to see what it does. That was a nice prediction on my opponent's end. See, he probably predicted that Starboy would come in, and since it usually Shell Smashes and uses White Herb, that it would get rid of my White Herb, and that was a smart play. And I think for this one again, I'm just going to go back into Plug and Please. Please no burn. And I don't get the burn, which is good. So he'll probably switch back into Silvally again, so I'm going to go for Energy Ball. And he predicts that, and stays in and Scalds. So I really have to. So I can either sack off my circuitry or switch it. And I think my best idea is to go for X-Wing. Or not. Let me think this through. He'll probably scald again. So, and I see my team is full of physical attackers and I never want the burn. So I should go for Emma Frost. So he'll probably just Brave Bird me. But I need to keep this back in case of for the Cure in Black, so I can Fairyum Z it and knock it out in one hit. So a good idea would actually be to go into my Metacham. I know it's kind of weird bringing two Choice Scarfers, but they're my two wall breakers, and I think it was just a good idea to bring them as Choice Scarf, so they could break down my opponent's team. So let's see what he does. He probably won't predict it and probably go for like Stealth Rocks. Or maybe Spikes. Or maybe try to go for the Brave Bird to knock my... I didn't predict the Toxic. So now he probably switches into the Arcanine to intimidate me and reduce my power. And I missed my high jump kick, which is not good. And yeah. But now I can just switch right into my circuitry and Thunderbolt this. See, this is a real 50-50 because he could either stay in and predict the energy ball or go into the... Ooh. He switched into his Meloetta, which unless that's Choice Scarf, I knock out. So it was Choice Scarfed. I didn't really expect it to be Choice Scarfed. I expected it to be more of a bulky substitute set. I probably should have predicted that, because why else would he bring it in if he knew I could just one-hit KO it next round? So now I just go into Emma Frost and out Blizzard. Maybe I want to go for the Blizzard. And it lives that and Toxics me. Okay, so that did 49%. So I can just Blizzard again. And it'll timid. I probably should have gone for the Aurora Veil. And now I should go to X-Wing. Because it can take any hit this Pokemon goes for. So with the leftovers, it shows that it's more of a bulky bulky Arcanine, and I'm kind of guessing that it probably has like Roar, Flamethrower, Snarl, stuff, more utility moves than offensive. So let's see what he does. He'll probably predict the switch, but won't know it. I mean, he knows probably won't switch into Heracross, but he probably can't guess what. He'll probably have Wild Charge in case of the Minior or the... Let me think what it's called, the Crobat. And my opponent was surprised that I didn't bring Infernape. But I just felt like in Team Preview, it just did not have a good matchup. So let's see what he does. He close combats. So now he's at -1 defense and special defense. I think this is just a good time to Super Fang. Or I could Roost to see if he's going for the Wild Charge, so it's not super effective. It'll just be neutral. He'll probably switch out and go into Skarmory. So who's faster? 394 and 262.
So now I can just Super Fang and see what it'll do. And of course I miss. Okay, so I'm gonna roost again. I was just gonna let it die to its Brave Bird. There's no point in me going for extra damage. So now here comes Kieran Black. I think I should just, unless if it's Choice Scarf, I should just Super Fang. So it is not Choice Scarf, and I can just go for the Moonblast. And this should knock out, unless if it's heavily HP'd. I think even with max HP, it should knock out. That's what I expected. So this is going to be a hard battle to get back from, but I think I can do this. And I get the burn. And so, let me see if this will knock out. So, Earthquake does 51 to 60% at max. So it has a good chance to kill. And it picks up the knockout. That's the... So now it's 3v4, so I still have a chance of winning this. So now heads back into his Scarf Meloetta. And I think I'll just Earthquake again. There's no point in switching out and getting extra damage on a Pokemon that didn't need it. So I think in this case, I should just knock off. So I can live any hit. And then, in case of a switching. So my opponent's, I'm in a tough matchup here. And I should just Bullet Seed. So now he's just gonna sweep me with a Flame Charging Silvally. So just Freeze Dry. So anyway guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.